Alright, welcome back to the No S&Q Runners guide to debug mode. So last time we did a bunch of movement, we nestled ourselves into a little position and we saved the game. We're gonna have to add to that a little bit. But we'll do that in a moment. There is one more thing that we need to do before we save the game and try and cross the river, and I'll explain it in a moment. But before I get into that, I want to talk about the RNG River. The RNG River is this blob of mess here. It is actually corresponding to the music file in memory. So we're basically crossing the soundtrack of the game. So thank you, Motoe Sakuraba, for this wonderful mess. Crossing this river is really hard. God damn it, sorry. I really hate doing that, but apologies. Anyway, crossing this river is a mess. All of these event tiles and doors, the green and the red things, they're bad. You don't want to hit them. We want to avoid them if we can at all possible. But it updates every single frame. So what we do is we do the setup which we established last video, that puts us in a really convenient position to try and cross the river. So that's what we're going to try and do, and that's what we're going to do in this video. And we're going to do the start of party corruption. So I just wanted to show off this river. It's a river because it literally extends across all the way across the memory. But yeah, this is definitely one of the hardest parts of the entire trick here. I'll switch back over to my other script real quick because I just prefer looking at that one. I understand it a little bit better. So this is the position we left off with in the last video, but we also made a save file. I need to add to that save file. What I need you to do is I need you to dive into the menu and I need you to stand by Flint. This is not needed, but it's a very, very, very useful safety. It will help you from preventing to hit a tile which will invalidate a part later on in the run. So by setting Flint, it does two things: safety, and we also need Flint's standby for a trick coming up in another video's time. So make sure you do this. So stand by Flint, make sure you do movement up and left, save the game, and now we are all good to go. These red tiles are impassable. They have a height value assigned to them. That height value came from loading battle mode. What we're going to do is we're going to hard reset to clear that information, and then we can cross the river. To cross the river, what do we need to do? We need to load the game, hold up left for 7 beats, then hold directly up. Now remember, a beat roughly correlates with a second, so we'll get the timer back on, and you'll kind of see what we're going to do when we do this. So I'll do this a few times, and you can kind of see what's going on. So reset. I will make a save file, just because, and hold up left, so count beats. 2, 3, we hit the river. So that's a shame. If you ever hit a door before 4 beats, you have hit the river, unless you get a door instantly. If you get a door instantly, that is a different fix. We'll discuss that in a moment. Try again. 1, 2, 3. Damn. Try again. RNG River for a reason, right? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. 5, 6, 7. Hold up. And yay, stuff happens. So we actually got to the ceiling. Once you get to the ceiling, you can check for a jar. So if you haven't got an encounter for a while, or you've held up for like a couple seconds or so, just try tapping A. If you get the jar, you know you're at the ceiling. If you're at the ceiling, you're ready for the next part of this video. The next part of this video is finding yourself out of bounds, but we need to worry about getting to this point to begin with. So that's what the crossing should look like. I'm just going to make a sneaky save state here. But it doesn't always go like that. As you saw, it took me a couple goes to get across the river. It's a huge pain, but once you get across the river and approximately know where you are, then if you're at the ceiling, make a save state. That's basically my advice. Save the game, make a save state, do whatever you need to do. Save that position so that we can come back to it and work things out later. There's another issue that could happen when you load into the save file. You could hold up left and instantly enter this room. If that happens, you are too high up. What you need to do, go back to the save file. If you're too high up, you need to tap down a couple times. Doesn't even need to be much, like less than a half tile of movement. Hold left again to hit the wall if you want. No, you can't hold F. Just hold down. Or you can tap left a few times either, it doesn't matter. Press down a few times, press left a few times, it doesn't matter. You just need to move slightly out of the way of this door so that when you hold up left, you miss the door. So tap down a few times, tap left a few times, your choice, save the game, try again. And keep saving and trying again until you stop hitting that door, and that's basically the only thing you can do about it. Fortunately, we're not any % runners, so that means we don't care as long as we can get across the wall eventually. Okay. I'm going to get an encounter here, so I'm just going to flee from that. My party is being... Actually, no, I need to get another file across the river. So let's do that. Okay, that's 7. 7 puts you right here if you do it correctly. Encounter, we don't care about the encounter. 7 puts you right here if you do it correctly, but people have a propensity to either under or overshoot, and that's where we stand by Flint. By stand by in Flint, these 2 tiles to the left of the 55 become values that can't screw us up, so that's why we did it. Okay, so I want to deal with each case separately. So there's 2 things you can do. You can either over or undershoot. If you undershoot, you end up on this side. So I'll save that to say 8. If you overshoot, you end up, say, over here. I'll save this to 7. If you've undershot, it doesn't matter whether you under or overshoot, you won't know. The only thing you'll know is that your party hasn't been corrupted. You still see Isaac, Garrett, Ivan, which means you haven't hit the 55 tile correctly. Of course, this is after checking the ceiling, of course. Always check to see the tile. As long as you see that you've got the tile, you're in the right vertical alignment. If you have Felix, Jenna, and Isaac in some order, then please skip ahead because this part's not for you. You did it correctly. Congrats, you get a cookie. Okay. Regardless whether you under or overshoot, always hold right. I think that's the easiest way to do this, so hold right. If you've overshot, which we've done in this particular save file, nothing's going to happen. You won't hit a door, you won't hit an encounter, nothing's going to happen. Once you're completely satisfied, make a save state, and then run down for about a second, and you'll corrupt your party. Fantastic, you've done the thing. That is the easy part. And then we can pick this up again after we've troubleshooted the undershooting. Now, let's say you've undershot. This is the harder one. Let's say we've undershot. I said hold right, hold right. Eventually, you'll either get an encounter or hit a door. So running left, running left, running left. We got an encounter. If you get an encounter, you know for sure you've done it wrong because you can't get an encounter run against the wall. But let's say you don't even get the encounter, you eventually hit up this door and you end up on the right side of threat tree. Congrats, you did it wrong. That's okay, we can fix it. What I'm going to need you to do is I'm going to need you to load that save state that you made. You did make a save state, right? And then run left. Once you've run left for a bit, what I'm going to need you to do is we need to get to the 55 tile, right? We're going to need to tap down right as briefly as we can, then open the menu to check to see if we've had party corruption. As soon as we hit party corruption, we need to run up to the ceiling and then we can continue. So let's do that. It's going to look like this. Tap down left, open the menu. Okay. Tap down left, open the menu. 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 Aha, we've corrupted. Fantastic. Run to the ceiling. Always do your next series of actions when you're not standing on a tile because it just helps. And so here we go. Whether you've under or overshot, it doesn't matter. We now are in roughly this position or we're below the tile. It doesn't really matter. I would recommend you always get back to the ceiling. It's just easier when you're up the top of the ceiling. So even if you overshot and ran down, I'd recommend you run back up to the top. So we're up here, we've got the jar, we've got Jenna, Felix, and Isaac. What I'm going to need you to do now is I'm going to need you to tap right 4 times on Jenna. 1, 2, 3, 4. What that's going to do is it's going to give us 3 Jennas and an Isaac. Fantastic. This is going to be really important for the next phase of this guide. The next phase of this guide is going to level up Jenna and Isaac. So now that we need to make another save game. The save game is such that we've got 3 Jennas and an Isaac. We're in this position against this 255 block. The 255 block, by the way, is the thing that failing the puzzle triggered. So very useful 255 block. This position with this party, we're going to do the last few steps to set up Ace. You're almost there. This was the hard bit. If you're in this position, by now, you can get to the end with Ace. You can do it. Alright, a couple more videos and we're there. So we'll see you in the next one.